Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the simulation. Welcome back. I am your nameless host. On today's episode, let's talk about views and why views are ultimately meaningless. I'm going to say this. I am a YouTube ghetto creator. In the YouTube ghetto, they don't let your views get up to 100 on average videos. What that means is that if you are in the YouTube ghetto, then the algorithm has basically chosen you to be relegated to insignificance and obscurity on the basis it would rather not proliferate or propagate your content. So, since that's the YouTube ghetto, what do we do down here? Well, what we do is we fight for views from people who are willing to click on things that have less than 1,000 views. Now, that's a pretty tiny demographic of people unto itself. Multiply that by the amount of people who actually stay through to the amount of the video, and you get a small number of retention. I have about 50% retention rate on my average videos. What that means is that on average, 50% of people who click my video will watch it through completion, where 50% will dip. Now, that's entirely okay. I don't blame those 50% people who dip because that's pretty good when you look at the fact that some people have like a 25% ratio of people who watch versus 75% of people who dip. So to have 50% of people who stay is pretty good. I'll take it. But here's why views are kind of a problem with YouTube. They're a popularity contest that basically tell you if this has millions and millions of views, it must be good. But that's not true because I've seen plenty of things that have millions and millions of views and they're trash. But this just tells you that the mass market appeal in the mainstream leans towards mediocrity. And that's okay because most people are mediocre and they don't demand to be anything other than that. Whereas what I do is highly niche and highly specified. So, yeah, I tend to aspire to at least a higher quality of standard than just mediocrity. Why views come into play is because, like, when you have a tiny channel that doesn't get many views, you have to basically fight with other channels that are in the same position. We are struggling to get any video past 100 views. And why is potentially because I think that YouTube does not actually count real views of people, like human beings, sitting there watching stuff. I actually think that you can sit and watch my video all day and the view counter won't go up. I've seen this happen. People told me it happens. And I think that that's the real shadow banning, and that's the bigger problem. The problem with being in the YouTube ghetto is not just that we don't get algorithmic propagation or support. It's the fact that the shadow banning is taking place. And so the unrecognition of this shadow banned state is precisely why the opacity of YouTube is so frustrating, because there's no human being you can talk to get an explanation for why you're shadow banned or how to get out of there, if you even could. For that reason, views don't matter. Whether or not you are shadow banned matters. Okay, figure out if you're shadow banned. If you're not getting views, if people aren't watching your content, probably shadow banned. Probably shadow banned. That's my advice, ladies and gentlemen. Views don't matter. Neither do we. Peace out. Love you all. Have a good life and treat each other kindly. One love.